It's been a few days now since I went through that box of pennies from Omaha, Nebraska. I found 17 wheat pennies, which is really good, well over 3 pounds of copper. I was going to do the video from Omaha and the one from Des Moines, but it was just getting too long. I'm wanting to show the wheat pennies I'm finding, and that just takes time when you find 17 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this box from Des Moines. Hopefully, I'll do real good with that. I did good from the last Des Moines box. And come along with me and we'll see if we find any good stuff. Maybe I'll find a 1943 steel or even an Indian head. Finally, I don't know, maybe today is the day. I didn't see any wheat pennies or, Canadian or anything on the top ends, so let's just get started. The first roll, I found a handful of the coppers, but I also found one of these, and I wanted to tell you, I'm finding so many of these. I have 2 rolls of them, and I was just going to take them to the bank and sneak them in there and then just leave and be happy. But I thought, no, I'm going to say something. So I told the teller, I said, these 2 rolls of pennies won't go through the coin machine. They're scuffed up and yucky looking. I said, can you go ahead and take them? She goes, no, we can't take those. I said, but I got them from you. And she just gave me one of those lovely smiles, And so she took a minute and she got on her computer and she said, you have to go to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. I said, okay. So, my first thought, printing, that sounds like bills. So I got over there and I looked around, and somewhere it did say, don't send any coins in with bills because it'll just make it worse. Said, send your coins to the U.S. Mint. Your mutilated coins to the U.S. Mint. So I got over to the U.S. Mint, and I looked around, and I didn't find anything other than it says if your company has this or this, tell what organization you're from. And I'm like, I'll keep looking. I'll get back with you if I find anything more. I'm going to go to the bank that orders coins for me regularly, where I know the tellers, and I'm going to tell them what's going on and ask them if they give the same advice, or if the banks actually will take them back and the other person just didn't want to deal with it. I'll let you know that too. But anyway, it's kind of fascinating. It's just a bunch of pennies, but I'm curious. And it's real money. I don't want to just throw them away. So anyway, that's me. I'm in my 5th roll, and I finally get to my first wheat penny, a 1950D. Wheat penny number 1 there. 82. Finding a fair amount of copper so far, I guess. Had one roll that had 18 coppers in it and an 82, but nothing out of the others quite like that. Found another one of those gnarly pennies. I'm curious to see if the bank branch that I'm real familiar with takes them or what they have to say about it. Oh, that's a nice looking 72. Wow, look at that. Oh my, that is really nice. I'll have to put that one away. Some of you are telling me that I really need to start looking for the varieties, and I can't disagree with you. All I can tell you is that I'm just not ready to take all that time yet. I'm fascinated by them, and obviously value is cool, but to really go through a whole box and give it the time that it deserves would take me a week, and I'm just not quite ready for that yet. I'll look at a few things, but maybe one day when I get other things done in life, get my house fixed up. I'm still working on this house that I bought a couple years ago, and maybe I'll take the time to spend more time then. This is my 14th roll, and I still only have one wheat penny, but I did find one of the newer Canadians. This is not the copper ones, 2005. A fascinating thing I've learned about the the 1982 penny. I went to find out what date they started producing the zinc, because when, if you're weighing your 1982s, you're finding more copper than you are the zinc ones. And Philadelphia started printing the zinc ones in October 21st, 1982. So that's I'll get the date in a little bit. Denver was also later in the year. But it's funny, San Francisco minted well over 1 million of the zinc coins, but they didn't put a mint mark on them. So you may actually be getting a couple of San Franciscos and not even knowing it. Also, West Point started producing the zinc pennies in January 7th, 1982. I didn't get the number that they produced, but they also didn't put a mint mark on it. So again, the no mint mark 1982s that we're all assuming are Philadelphia could be West Point or San Francisco, but I guess we'll never know. Well, look at there. This is the 17th row, and we come to wheat penny number 2. So far, not very strong in the wheat pennies. 1946D. Another interesting thing about the 82s, the planchets weren't made by the mint. They were purchased by an outside company, the Bell Corporation from Tennessee. They purchased from them with the zinc with the coating of copper over it. And when San Francisco went to make them, they have to stamp it a couple of different times, whatever, to make the proof coins, and the copper coating didn't hold up. Oh, look, there's another one. Cool. And so they weren't able to make the proofs. And in 1983, they figured out that they could 44, is that an S? D, 44D. After they stamped them, then they put a second coating of copper over it, and that's what they started doing in 83. Fascinating. This is my 20th roll, and I come to this Canadian here, but look, 2 coins behind it. There's another one. 1977. 1991. 98% copper. Roll 23, and we come to our 4th wheat penny, a 1944D. Who knows, maybe we'll end up with 9 or 10 yet. There's 2 kinds of people in the world, Blondie. Those that have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Those who haven't. Did you know that the good, the bad, and the ugly was filmed in 4 different countries? Italy, Spain, West Germany, and the United States. The last scene in the cemetery was about 100 miles from Madrid. And I personally just love the music. In the first row, in the second half of this box, at the very second to the last coin, I find number 5, 1953 D. Well, maybe we can get our 10. This is the 6th row into the second half, and I did find a third Canadian copper penny. A couple rows back, I found another one of the non-copper Canadians. 1973 for this one. The wheat pennies are kind of slow, so I don't know if I'm going to get there or not. I'd say the copper's been good. I think I'm well in line to get over 3 pounds. Hope a few more wheat pennies come along. We're still at 5. Well, with 12 rows to go, I finally found wheat penny number 6. The copper's going good. I'm getting good copper from each row. But the wheat pennies are a bit slower in this box. There's 6. I don't know how many of you watching this today saw my video when I was in Colorado where I talked about how I'd injured my foot. Well, I got back from that trip, and it seemed like it was starting to heal. But then last week, there's a 68. Yes, that's cool. Last week, I fell out of my shed, and I rolled my foot on a 6x6 board, and hurt it again. And I waited a week, and it's just not getting better. So yesterday, I went to the emergency care center place near me, and it turns out that I have 3 fractured bones in my foot. Oh boy. So I'm going to be off my foot for some time now, I reckon. They didn't give me a boot or anything. They gave me some little shoe just to get home in, and I've got to go see a orthopedic person next week. And guess they'll tell me what to do. Whoop, I almost passed up a couple right there. I wonder what they were up to with this penny. This little point in the center is kind of standing up. Well, I just have 6 rolls to go, and I found another copper Canadian. I'm just still at 6 wheat pennies, but this looks like it's from one of the 53 through 79 varieties. Oh, I'm wrong. It's a 1981. Let me look at that. Huh. I thought sure it was one of the older ones. That's right. It's still 98% copper. It just weighs slightly less than the variety before it. That variety was just made from 80 and 81, and then they went to the 12-sided. I sure hope I get 1 or 2 more wheats. But I tell you, I think I've got a shot at 4 pounds. The copper's been good, and that will be pretty cool to get that much. What does that say? I'm going to weigh that one. That's copper. It's 81, I guess. Cool. I'm not putting pressure on my foot here doing this, but it is down and the blood's going to it, so it's starting to get sore. So I'm going to wrap it up here in a little bit and get my foot up for a while. Ah, there's a wheat penny. Very cool. There's number 7. With just 3 rows to go, this is my 5th Canadian copper penny. This is the 8081 variety. Well, I'm in my last roll, and I found the last year of the wheat penny, 1958. That makes 8. I tell you, the copper, oh, move my light a little bit. That's a pretty full box. I think I have a shot at 4. It may be a little shy, but I still got to add the 82s to it still. That'd be cool to have 4. It'd be cool to see another wheat penny here at the end, but I'm not counting on that. 8 is not the worst thing in the world. Well, this roll doesn't look like it's got a lot of copper in it. I tell you, most rolls have had over 10 coppers in it. Phew, not this one. Let's weigh one more 83, shall we? It doesn't look copper, but no. One of these days, I just might get all excited, but probably not. That's it. I'll weigh those 82s, and we'll see what we got for the final. Well, I had 58 82s. I got them weighed out, and there was less than 10 of them were zinc. And I put them in the copper ones in today's copper, and yes, I got 4 pounds. Just a hair over, like 4 pounds, and not even an ounce. But it was pretty cool. I got my 4 pounds, and so that makes up a little bit for only getting 8 wheat pennies. I got a handful of the copper Canadians. I kept one of the S pennies. I got that one really, really super nice old copper coin. It's a 72. And a few of the 2009s. But best part, 4 pounds, and I'll add that to this box. I'll get this one up to the 25 pounds and seal it, and that will make 8 boxes of those for 200 pounds. Pretty cool.